Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Rector's Roost from St. Thomas More here in my office. Father Tim. It's raining today. It's Saturday. I meant to do this yesterday, but I ran out of time. My father's visiting from San Antonio, Texas for the installation this weekend, and so we're excited about that tonight. I did put in the bulletin, as I promised last week, a little synopsis of my pastoral vision. And what I just want to go through it really quickly. I could talk about this for quite a while, but I don't think you'd want to watch me talk about it for quite a while. So if you want to hear more about it, we can always talk about it later. You can call me or something. But I just want to run through this really quick with you, in case you don't get a chance to read it, and just kind of break it down a little bit more. What this is a fruit of really a lot of prayer, and some of this has come to me when I'm celebrating Mass. Some of it's come to me when I've been in the chapel, especially in the last few months. As soon as I found out that I would be becoming the rector here, I wanted to ask the Lord, like, what could I do, or where can we go next with the parish? Father John's left us, really left me in such really good hands, in a really good position. So it's like, what's needed? We don't need another renovation in the church, obviously. So what is it that we need? So the first thing is what I was aware of is, it seems like we have a lot of activity with the students, and campus ministry is strong and one of the strongest in the country. We're really proud of that and what the brothers have done for us here. But what we don't have a lot of is activities for parishioners. It seems that there's a little bit of a lack of that. There could be, with the increase of parishioners that we've seen lately, especially with young families, trying to come up with something just to connect people. And I really think that people are longing for a greater sense of community, especially in a parish. Something I've heard for years is that people come to Catholic Mass and they don't often feel connected, right? The people don't say hello to them. They don't feel like they know anybody, and that can be a real turnoff for a lot of folks. So what I'm proposing is, first off, to form basically small communities throughout our parish. And people live all over town who come to St. Thomas More. Some of them live as far as Chattahoochee. Some live as far as Wakulla County. And they come here because they enjoy the liturgy and they enjoy the church. So how do we connect all these people? The thing that priests will often do is we'll host events here at the parish. But what I've found is that it's very hard to get people sometimes to come to events at the parish, especially weeknights, because they have children or they have other responsibilities and duties. Or quite frankly, when I was out of the seminary and I was working a full-time job, I remember I was tired at the end of the day. I wanted to just go home and chill. I didn't feel like driving, especially if my parish was 20 minutes away. The last thing I felt like doing was driving all the way out there. I had to listen to someone talk or blab at me or whatever. So it's never really, I've never seen that works well. So my thought is to bring, I didn't just mess that up. My thought is to bring these communities really to you. And we've already started this process of finding some families and meeting and so on and testing this out, is to create small communities throughout the town. If you live in Southwood, or you live in Killearn or Midtown or Buck Lake, or even further away, to have a group of people that you can connect with there. No obligations, no commitments, but simply once a month getting together, maybe praying a decade or two of the rosary, maybe having a talk, and letting groups really kind of find what works best for them. If you have a group with a lot of children, it may not be appropriate to have somebody giving a talk or sitting down with a book or something like that, because kids are running around and that's a lot of work. But we still don't want that to be a barrier for families to get together and connect. And hopefully down the road, my plan is if this works and it goes well, is that when you have an opportunity to join one of these groups. And again, you may not want to go every month or however it works for you, but at least that when you go to Mass, you're going to know several people there. You're going to see people that you know. And then hopefully down the road, we'll have things that all these people can come together, whether it's Eucharistic adoration or holy hours, praise and worship, days of retreat for men and women, something like that will kind of help, again, kind of grow this sense of community. So I'm really excited about that. That's sort of a brief kind of synopsis of that kind of element of the plan. By the way, the plan is really, there's three prongs. There's building community, the liturgy, teaching and sanctifying, and outreach and evangelization. So we're going to move, one other element that kind of builds into the second one with the community is having an opportunity for retreats. When I was at Blessed Sacrament, I was involved with Christ Renews Parish program, and I saw firsthand just how transformational it was for so many women's lives. and for the parish. So many of the people, their Blessed Sacrament, that were involved in various ministries or had a really deep encounter with Christ, that happened on their retreat that they went on with Christ Renews His Parish. I'd like to start something like that. It may not be Christ Renews His Parish, it may be something similar, but just to provide an opportunity for people to come away for a weekend, maybe right here at St. Thomas More, or maybe we even use the Newman Center. We'll find a location, the details later, but to have an opportunity to take some time out of our busy lives to allow God to work in our hearts. I think that can be really powerful. And of course, it helps, again, build community and with the people you go on retreat with. The prong, the teach and sanctify. I shared a few weeks ago about my desire to, lex orandi, lex credendi, which is the law of belief and the law of prayer, how they're connected, how they reveal each other. And so I talked about holding the Eucharist, holding the Blessed Sacrament higher during the elevation during Mass, to try to signify what we believe about the Eucharist. There's something very important happening here. I'm going to try to draw our attention to that. So I'm trying to pray a bit about how we can do that even more in our liturgy. How can we do things, small things maybe, that will help us enhance our liturgy and our experience of the divine, of the mystery of that. Some people have already suggested some things to me. We'll be doing that slowly. But before we do those things, I think what's important is that we have a period of kind of formation, of teaching. So many of us don't know or have forgotten, or were told once or whatever, about the richness and the beauty and the symbolism of the Mass and the liturgy that we celebrate. How many of you could say what liturgy is, what it means, what's the purpose accurately, right? Not a lot of us can. So how do we do that? How do we teach people this? Again, having things in the evening on weeknights, no one's going to come. I could give you all a book, but who's going to read it? And it's expensive. We could do a teaching Mass, but those are long. And when are you going to do it? And not everybody's going to be able to show up. So instead, what I'm planning on doing very soon, Father Luke and I, and even William Gibson, our seminarian, are going to begin kind of using like this method here, the bulletins, and even maybe times at Mass, to briefly, over the course of several weeks, briefly touch on every part of the Mass. Like maybe that first week, it's like, what is Mass? What is liturgy? What does it mean? What is this? What is it that we're doing here every Sunday? What does it symbolize? In a brief way, in a few moments, in a few minutes, explain this. Then the next week, maybe it's another part of what the Church teaches about the Mass. So forming us really to kind of dive in even deeper into our liturgy, and then of course, enhancing our experience, the vertical dimension. We do very well with the horizontal dimension, but we don't always do as well with the vertical. And having community is going to assist in this horizontal dimension as well. The vertical dimension we can always kind of enhance a little bit more. We do a great job as it is, but how can we do it even better? We're just going to be praying and thinking about that, open to suggestions from you all. And lastly, my third kind of prong, so to speak, is evangelization and outreach. I feel that the question that should be hovering over really every single parish is this: what are we doing to evangelize our neighborhood, our county, our area? So for me, as being at the Co-Cathedral, how are we evangelizing Leon County? What are we doing to evangelize my neighborhood that I live in right here? Are we doing anything? Are we outreaching to people? Right next door is Casa Calderon, 100 residents. I just went over there with Sister Agnes Therese. They're going to start bringing students over there and holding Bible studies and opportunities for those folks who are right next door to us. The poor are right next door to us, people who are elderly and disabled, who are living right next door, that we don't have a lot of interaction with. St. Vincent de Paul brings food for them. But I want to expand that. I really want to open up the doorway there for them to feel welcome to be evangelized. So these are sort of questions I want to be asking. How can we express our faith in our community? Not in a aggressive way, not in a way that's off-putting, but in a way that how do we do this, right? Thinking about ways of inviting people, thinking about ways of making it attractive, because Jesus is the answer to the questions of our heart. Is the answer to the question that is life. And there's a lot of folks out there who are struggling, a lot of people who really need Christ. You look at every problem in our world, and I think really simply, very simplistically, the answer is Christ. That when we fall in love with Jesus and when we allow him to transform our lives, a lot of problems would be solved, a lot of things would be resolved. So how are we doing that as a parish? How are we outreaching? So I don't want to burden you, and I don't want to make this any more difficult, but I think there's a lot of things that we can do very simply and easily that can really make a huge impact in our very own community right here. I'm very excited about these things. I just ask you to pray about, being open to whatever comes, hopefully joining one of these little communities, or at least connecting with them, even if you can't come all the time because of your schedule, but at least being have a foothold, right, in one of these groups, just so you have some folks that you know a little bit more deeper and so on. So you'll be hearing more about those details later on, but I want to give you kind of my own little brief synopsis of this. It can be found in the bulletin. There's an insert in there. And I really ask you to pray for me and to pray for Father Luke and to pray for our staff and everybody involved in this. And really just be open. Lord, what do you want me to do? You know, how can I be a part of this or be engaged in this? You know, I know all of you are busy and there's stress and worries, and I want to do things that are going to, you know, give you opportunities to enhance your relationship with God and your parish life and this community without overburdening you or giving you just another task or something to do. I want it to be fun and I want it to be awesome, because that's what this should be. We should be growing together in faith and growing closer to the Lord Jesus Christ and transforming the world at the same time. So thank you for listening, and I apologize if this was too long. I think I did it pretty concise. Megan, what do you think? Not bad, not bad. Okay, great. All right, well, please look forward to your feedback. Look forward to any comments, suggestions. If anybody wants to meet or talk, maybe at some point we could even do some kind of a town hall thing or something like that and discuss this stuff further if you want to hear more about it. Anyway, God bless you all, and pray for me this weekend, and you will all be in my prayers as well. Take care.